said, alright. I guess.
Alright, bro.
Up tomorrow. I created my...
Yes.
This man's arms are so big, they can barely fit in the screen. They make his head look tiny. He never skips arm day. Or...
Because my knees are bad. I'm not walking around on my knees. Yeah.
I can't even make love to my own husband. Simple things that I'm used to doing, I can't do anymore. It's hard to even sleep.
And that's why you're asking this court for $500,000 for your pain and suffering and $350,000 for emotional distress. Mr. Simon, you broke off the top of your femur. You need a hip replacement.
Yes,
You got your arm in a sling. What were your other injuries?
my hip, my pelvis, Your Honor, and my, I'm sorry, can I
You can do
please sit
whatever makes you comfortable. If you need to sit down
Thank
in
you,
your
Your Honor.
wheelchair, take your time.
Thank you, Your Honor. The pain has been nonstop since the accident. We can't do things like walk our dog.
Your Honor, you know what? I have sympathy for what has happened to them, but I can't take blame for this. It's not my fault. I mean, ultimately, they're responsible.
You need that big old booty, color butter builder. Thinking what that means, I'm colorblind. They told me that I murder every bit like Columbine. Sorry about that. I had a
Responsible for pins in their back and the fact that
We're
they
responsible for
can't
pins in
make
our back?
love anymore.
Wow.
Folks,
Maybe you needed
we're going to have
some love.
order in the court. In order to understand how this balloon works from a physics perspective, the court has consulted physics expert Katie Lowry. Sheriff, will you bring Miss Lowry in to talk to us about these hot air balloons?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Lowry, for being with us. Can you explain the physics behind how this accident happened?
Yes, so I brought along a model with me today, and upon ascent, the balloon will rise at approximately 3 feet per second. The day of the incident, the wind was traveling at 4 miles per hour northwest, and it was causing the balloon basically to go horizontally. So when you combine those two together, the balloon basically rises diagonally toward the tent and ultimately collides with the tent.
But Mr. Nelson talked about this sudden gust of wind, this shearing wind. How does that play in this?
So at the balloon launch site, it's approximately 100 feet from the tent. And taking those wind speeds into consideration,
You need that big old booty, color butter builder. Thinking what that means, I'm colorblind.
even without the gust of wind, the balloon would have risen 50 feet vertically, barely missing the tent. With the gust of wind, it absolutely would have basically collided with the tent, and there's absolutely no way you could have avoided a collision.
Your Honor.
Mr.
Entirely
Nelson,
too close.
is 100 feet appropriate?
Yes, it's more than appropriate if, in fact, they were not hanging off the side of the gondola. She's not taking that into consideration.
I think I've heard what I need to hear. I'm ready to render my decision. The verdict is in. You all say you stayed in the middle and you hit the tent. It tipped you out of the basket and you were nearly killed. Mr. Nelson, you don't think it's your fault. One, because you had a wind come at you. In every personal injury case, the plaintiffs, Mr. and Mrs. Simon, you all have to prove that the defendant committed a wrong that
You need that big old booty, color butter builder. Thinking what that
my own husband.
Come get... Come get room ready with me.
I can't.
I've heard what I need to hear. I'm ready to render my decision. In every personal injury case, the plaintiffs, Mr. and Mrs. Simon, you all have to prove that the defendant committed a wrong that caused your harm. Your harm is undisputed. There are allegations that you all went to the side of the basket and made it tip. You all say you stayed in the middle and you hit the tent. It tipped you out of the basket and you were nearly killed. This should not have happened this way, and you all should have had a happy anniversary. Mr. Nelson, you agree that this should not have happened this way, but you don't think it's your fault. One, because you had a wind come at you that was unexpected, and they moved to the edge of the basket, tipped it just as you hit that tent. You don't have a problem with being 100 feet from the tent as a clearance for takeoff.
No, Your Honor.
Well, we always have to turn to the law. Hot air balloons are no different than buses, trucks. When you carry people for hire, you're recognized as a common carrier. Now, the law places an extraordinary burden to avoid negligence on a common carrier because you take away people's opportunity to protect themselves. The law says is if you're slightly negligent, you're responsible. This court is taking judicial notice of the federal law that applies to hot air balloon operation. And the handbook for the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration that granted you your license, says as follows: the balloon should be placed as far as possible upwind from any obstructions to flight, such as power lines, trees, buildings, things of that sort, using a minimum of 100 feet of clearance for every knot of wind. Now, I did the calculations. Mr. Nelson, you should have been at least 350 feet from these tents. And because you must avoid even slight negligence as a common carrier, I must find against you and in the Simon's favor for everything they are seeking from this court.
Even make love.
That big old booty cut up by the
You gotta understand the amount of motherfuckers that said it's a waste of fucking time. I'll never be able to do it. It's not real.
Give me that big old booty cut up by the builder. Thinking what that means I'm colorblind. They told me that I murder every bit like Columbine. Sorry about that. I
I hear the silence.
Give me that big old booty cut up by the builder. Thinking what that means I'm colorblind. They told me that I'm
My own husband.
that big old booty cut up by the builder. Thinking what that means I'm colorblind. They told me that I murder.
Simple things that I'm used to doing. I
Give me that big old booty cut up by the builder. Thinking what that means I'm colorblind. They told me that I murder every bit like Columbine. Give me that big old booty cut up. Give me that big old booty cut up by the builder. Thinking what that means I'm colorblind. They told me that I murder every bit like Columbine. Sorry about that. I had to switch the side. Give me that big old booty cut up by the builder. Thinking what that means I'm colorblind. They told me that I murder every bit like Columbine.
anymore. It's hard to
Come get room.
What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me, man? I saw that shit, bro.
No, okay, just stay. Hey, chill, alright? It's just, I'm gonna check this. I'm gonna check this out.
Who gives a fuck? I was asking you what the fuck you think you want to do. You think you the only guy in this bitch keep your hands off me. For real. Why not? Do it against what the fuck happened.
I'm not scared of you.
Niggas funny.
You fucking broke ass security guard.
You're nothing but a dirty, dirty old man. You do your thinking, clean up your rap. Your story's getting dusty. Wash out your mouth, your lies are getting rusty.
I don't even know why we running from these niggas.
Yo, where the fuck is Tracy?
Why we running from them, man? Good work.
Watch your tone. Hey, relax, relax. I'm gonna...
Turn me down, bitch. Some guy, he's copper with a .6 wants to play. Did you invite me to tell me that you were gonna leave us that? Maybe it was. Well, he's not joining, so. Maybe if you could pick up some people and maybe not make me do all the work, like. I've been ready for a 24-hour.
Man has his hands clasped.
I'm ready for my 24-hour sleep in about 2 hours, yeah.
What type of video do you think this is?
But you know,
Did you go to bed in 2 hours? No, I'm going to bed. Like.
Said you're not going to bed, you're lagging pretty bad.
I might, I don't know. I'm tired, bro.
what was the IFF?
You also gotta think of time zones. It's like 2 in the morning.
You're lagging, so I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're lagging.
You're
It's not me.
lagging, shut up,
You just lagged out of the party. It's not me that's lagging. It's you.
Alright, well, I don't know what you want me to do.
Get in my lobby and run the ones. Run my 50s.
What? Can't hear you.
Run my 50s.
50 what?
1 versus 1. 1 versus 1. 1 versus 1. 1 versus 1.
Versus ones? Hell no, I'm not doing that.
A singular 1 versus 1. A singular 1 versus 1.
Killer one. Multiple?
1v1.
It's 6v8? What are you talking about?
Okay. Okay.
This is not Rust.
Okay. 68. Why would I be saying 68 in Rust anyway? You bumbaclot. Get in my lobby.
You have trap house. So you have to trap house internet.
You. 1v. You know what? I'm messaging on TikTok. Like. I know you can hear me because I hear myself in the echo.
There's no echo, you fat little. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, so you can hear me.
Nope,
Oh.
nope.
Oh.
Oh, you're elo trapping me.
Oh. This free kid thinks I'm elo trapping, the freest champ in the market.
You would look so.
I'll block you.
Oh, I'll slam you.
But if you fall, what's gonna happen?
You mind picking somebody up? Or, like.
I don't know what you like. You've been begging me to get on, so I was assuming you had a full 5 stack waiting and ready.
Yeah, well I did until you took about 2 hours to set up a setup. Think about that. Are you not even at your own house? Hey, Sparkle. Hey, Sparkle. Hey, rectangular prism.
Yo, Beastin, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Beastin? Beastin. Beastin.
I just heard myself woof in the mic. Wait. Run the ones.
Oh, you're not lagging anymore. Did you fix your shitty black internet?
I was never lagging.
So my Cronus just keeps continuously disconnecting. So it looks like we're gonna have to run the ones. Never.
Yeah, that's clipped.